Today's a WRAL weather alert day with a low risk for flooding and severe storms. I'll show you what to expect and when the rain will be where you are.
Expanding hours. Starting today, the DMV will extend hours at many of its offices. How they're working to get you a real ID before the deadline.
And Black Monday. Markets are bracing for another sell-off today as President Trump prepares for more tariffs. The concerns from economists warning of a possible stock market crash.
And that's a wrap. Dreamville 2025 is in the books. The cleanup happening this morning as music lovers look ahead to a future event. That was the final iteration of Dreamville, and festival goers looking ahead to what may come as organizers in Raleigh hint to something else to take its place. Good morning, everyone. It is 4:30. A lot to tell you about here on this Weather Alert Day. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. It's great to have you along here. Yeah, they'll figure it out over the coming time. We'll all be interested to hear what it is. Dreamville stayed mostly dry over the weekend. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. We won't be so lucky this Monday.
That's right. The rain will be with us definitely today. A little bit of rain on my windshield when I came in this morning. It'll be just on and off this morning, and then it becomes a little heavier later on this afternoon and evening. So a bit of a wet commute this morning, but not a total soaker, but much wetter for the evening commute. A low risk of flooding, 1 to 3 inches of rain, and then, of course, pretty much our entire viewing area in a level 1 risk for severe storms, which just means a chance of isolated severe weather. Most of the rain currently is up near the Virginia line or just to the east of Raleigh. You can see it moving up the I-95 corridor toward Wilson and Rocky Mount. Lots more rain to come, but again, it won't be steady all morning long. You can see 50% chance during the morning commute, about a 90% chance starting at lunchtime, and then 100% chance during the evening commute. We take a look at Chapel Hill right now, and it is dry. Currently, it is really warm out there, 71. Our dew point is 62, so we still have the warm air, and it sticks with us all day. Highs will stay in the 70s and then begin to drop as we head into the evening. What comes next is much colder temperatures, even some frost later this week. I'll show you coming up.
Elizabeth, thanks. Starting this morning, the DMV will expand its weekday hours at a majority of its offices. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from a DMV location in Smithfield. Kelsey, this comes as many people are rushing to get their real ID before that May 7th deadline.
Yes, Renee, starting this morning, dozens of DMV offices will open an hour earlier at 7 a.m., including this location here in Smithfield. Now, Sky 5 flew over this DMV office in Wake County. You can see dozens of people waiting in line. 5 on Your Side has tracked long DMV lines for years, but viewer complaints about DMV delays are at an all-time high. Right now, there are 3 factors contributing to backlogs: in-person license renewals, staffing shortages, and the May 7th deadline to get a real ID. That's just 1 month away. New slots for early morning appointments are already booked. We spoke with Governor Josh Stein about this issue.
Did you know that all those appointments have already been booked up?
I'm not surprised that they are. I mean, the demand for services are immense. Look, we need to pay our folks better than what they've earned. We need to fill all the vacancies. We need to operate more effectively.
Now, most DMV offices in Wake, Durham, and Orange counties already have these extended hours, so they already open at 7 every morning. But the state is looking to replace current DMV Commissioner Wayne Goodwin. We'll be sure to keep you updated on when they announce that replacement. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Smithfield.
Also this Monday morning, which is hours until Wall Street opens again, there are concerns of a so-called Black Monday as markets brace for another possible sell-off today. The start of pre-market trading suggests last week's stock slide may still be in the early stages. A baseline 10% tariff kicked in Saturday. Those will rise even further for dozens of countries under President Trump's so-called reciprocal tariffs set to take effect Wednesday. Last week's plunge on Wall Street erased nearly $6 trillion from the market.
And Jeff, I'm looking this morning at the U.S. futures, not looking good. You can see right here the Dow Jones down 1,200 in terms of U.S. futures overnight, and the S&P down 171 with the NASDAQ down 649-ish. Now, it's not just our markets that are starting to see a bit of a plunge this morning. Taking a look over here, we're seeing the European markets not doing that well either. You can see over toward the right there, the percentage change between the different markets down, some near 6%, some near closer to 5%. And then lastly, the Asian markets here, you could see roughly over to the right, the Nikkei, which is, of course, in Japan, it's down almost 8% here. So, yes, not just America, but across the world right now, markets not opening the best, at least. So one thing that we're watching very closely is to see what the opening bell would look like for the U.S. markets come about 9:30 this morning.
Chris, thank you. People living in Wake County can learn how their tax dollars are being spent at an educational session today. The meeting aims to give taxpayers a look at the planning and discussions that go into managing the county's $2 billion budget. Today's event will run from 11 a.m. until 1 at Raleigh Southgate Community Library. There will be another event tomorrow from noon until 2 at the Southeast Regional Library.
Dreamville 2025 is a wrap, and cleanup will get underway this morning after a weekend of music and fun. And WRAL's Monica Casey joins us live right outside Dix Park there. And Monica, that park plans to reopen at 6 this morning. Quick turnaround.
That's right. Cleanup is underway here at Dix Park, and there's going to be a lot to do with an estimated 52,000 people attending this festival both days. You can see here behind me the entrance to the park still blocked by RPD at this hour. Now, it's been another successful year. We know last year this festival brought in about $145 million in economic impact. We are still waiting on this year's numbers. We also know this is the final year for this version of the festival. We learned just days before it that Dreamville organizers have agreed to bring a new festival to Raleigh for the next 4 years. They're still working out the details on what that would look like. Now, Dix Park still closed to the public as of now. We know it will reopen around 6 o'clock this morning. Live in Raleigh, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
At least one person is dead after a crash in Johnston County. This happened near the Bentonville Battlefield State Historic Site at a Harper House Road and Newton Grove Road. Investigators have not identified the person killed. It's also not clear if anyone was hurt. We've asked the Highway Patrol for that information, and we're waiting to hear back.
A flood warning is in effect for eastern Kentucky, where heavy rain has caused rivers to rise there. The Kentucky River is expected to crest at just about 50 feet. Potentially a record-setting level. And some people are using boats just to get around in and out of their homes. In Montgomery County, drone footage here shows homes and businesses submerged in water. In Frankfort, a bourbon distillery was flooded by water from the rising Kentucky River.
Firefighters from the Triangle are in Kentucky to help with water rescues there. Raleigh firefighters, along with first responders from Chapel Hill, Durham, and Wake EMS, helped 12 people and 3 pets evacuate from flooded homes Saturday night in Frankfort. The swift water rescue teams could be there for up to 2 weeks, depending on the need.
President Donald Trump will meet with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu today with 2 key concerns in mind. The 2 leaders will meet at the White House to talk about security issues in the Middle East and tariffs. Israel is seeking to create a new security corridor to pressure Hamas into a peace deal and into returning all remaining hostages. President Trump and Netanyahu will also discuss tariffs, and Israel is facing a 17% tariff placed by the United States. Netanyahu is expected to press for tariff relief. We're working to learn if anyone was injured in this house fire in Cary. This happened last night on Jamison Woods Lane. Photos show flames coming out of that home. The WRL Breaking News Tracker was there as several firefighters responded. We are working to find out what caused the fire. Tonight, college basketball crowns its new national champion. Florida takes on Houston tonight in San Antonio. Tip-off is at 8:50 p.m. And Houston in that championship game after knocking out Duke from the tournament in the semifinal Saturday night. Disappointing finish to a standout season for the Blue Devils. They lost by 3 points after leading by 6 with 33 seconds left in the game. Although Duke is out of the tournament, there's a North Carolina connection to tonight's title game. Houston's head coach Kelvin Sampson is from Robeson County.
The UConn Huskies are the women's college basketball champions for the 12th time. They dominated South Carolina in the title game, 82-59. The Gamecocks are going for their 2nd straight championship, but were denied by the Huskies. Connecticut was led by senior guard Azzi Fudd and freshman forward Sarah Strong, who combined to score 48 points. Strong, by the way, is a Fuquay-Varina native. The win adds to Connecticut's record championship total.
20 minutes to 5 right now on your Monday. Doomsday Mom in court. The second trial of Lori Vallow Daybell begins in Arizona today. What you can expect as Daybell plans to defend herself in court.
Measles deaths in Texas. A funeral for an 8-year-old girl who died from complications. The message from Health and Human Services Secretary RFK Jr.
And a live look right now down in Sanford. Today is a WRAL weather alert day due to the risk of heavy rain. And we'll show you which community will be impacted most, as well as your drive times this morning and tonight.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It's 4:43, and we have some rain out there this morning, especially up near the Virginia line. That's headed toward Durham and Chapel Hill. A little bit of rain there along the I-95 corridor, especially over near Wilson, Rocky Mount, Goldsboro, and more to come, of course. It'll be on and off for us this morning, and it picks up in intensity later on this afternoon. You can see 50% chance this morning, and then by the middle of the afternoon, about 100% chance. And we do have a small chance for some severe storms, especially in our eastern counties. And we'll go over that in more detail coming up. Stepping out the door this morning, it is warm out there, 71 in Durham, Raleigh, and 70 in Fayetteville. Our temperatures will drop overnight tonight, but we're going to hold it right here in the 70-degree range all the way up until later on this evening when we begin to see more of the rain moving in.
Doomsday cult mom Lori Vallow Daybell is set to face another trial today. Daybell is accused of conspiring to murder her ex-husband, Charles Vallow. Her brother, Alex, killed him, but claimed self-defense. Daybell will be representing herself in court. The trial is expected to last 6 weeks. She's also being accused of conspiring to kill her niece's ex-husband. This case was tried separately, or will be tried separately. Daybell's already serving a life sentence for killing 2 of her youngest children and conspiring to kill her 5th husband's ex-wife.
Thousands of protesters took over the streets of cities all across the country this past weekend, voicing opposition to policies from the Trump administration. These hands-off rallies happened Saturday in all 50 states, and that included here in Raleigh and other cities across the Triangle. The protests are a response to mass layoffs, attacks on immigration and human rights, tariffs, and the downturn of the U.S. economy.
At least 9 people are hurt after a minivan crashed into a crowd in downtown Los Angeles. This is video from that crash scene. According to officials, the people who were hurt included 3 boys between the ages of 8 and 17. 7 people were taken to the hospital. At this time, it's not clear what caused the crash or whether the driver will face charges.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says he has redeployed CDC teams to Texas after the death of a second child from measles. Kennedy visited the area yesterday. The child who died was not vaccinated against measles. It's not clear if Kennedy attended the funeral. He says he traveled to the community to console the girl's family. Recent massive federal funding cuts to health departments nationwide are already slowing efforts to stop the outbreak. Dozens of measles vaccine clinics in Texas were canceled in the last week. A parachutist did not stick the landing in France. Video shows a parachutist stuck on the roof of the Stadium de Toulouse yesterday. They were set to deliver the game ball for the Champions Cup rugby game, but got stuck on the edge of the roof for several minutes. Crews used a mechanical ladder to rescue the man. The game was delayed for 30 minutes during this whole debacle.
He just got hung up a little bit. New this morning, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the Toronto Blue Jays have agreed to a 14-year, $500 million contract that starts in 2026. According to a person familiar with negotiations, those are the deals there. It removes what would have been the biggest star from next offseason's free agent market. Guerrero got the 3rd largest contract in total dollars behind Juan Soto and Shohei Ohtani.
After a hot and steamy weekend, we are still dealing with some of that lingering warmth this morning, and that's translating to a lot of showers across the viewing area.
We do. So we've been talking about this system for quite some time, and of course it is here. Most of the rain right now is in our northern counties, but there's a few sprinkles there along the I-95 corridor. Not much happening in the Triangle currently. A few light showers down in the Sandhills. That will change as we head through the morning. We're going to see a bigger, better chance of rain as we get into the late afternoon and evening. But you can see here all the counties counties that border Virginia for the most part are seeing some rain, and certainly Mecklenburg County, Virginia, around South Hills coming down a little more heavily. And that's what Futurecast is showing right now. We'll move Futurecast through time and notice how, at least for the next few hours, a lot of that rain just stays up there in our northern counties and some of our western counties, Chatham County, Orange County, as well as up around Person County. Then closer to lunchtime, it looks like a line develops and starts to move into the area. We do have a level 1 risk for severe storms, and that means that a few of these storms could produce some wind damage, but it would be isolated, not widespread. But we'll be watching for that with that band coming through there at lunchtime. And then on into the afternoon, you can see 3 o'clock, more rain begins to push on in. And it looks like it's going to be a much wetter evening commute than it will be a morning commute. Notice all the way through dinner time and then up through midnight or even some of the early morning hours tomorrow, we'll continue to see showers. Should be dry by tomorrow morning's commute. We have a low risk for flooding and wind and almost a 0 risk of tornado and hail with these systems coming through. Cloudy skies, of course, here in downtown Raleigh. When I drove through downtown this morning, it was sprinkling a little bit. Right now it's 71, so it's a very warm start this morning. Our temperature is 64 in Roxborough, 70 in Fayetteville, 70 degrees in Rocky Mount. And around the Triangle, temperatures range from 68 in Cary to 70 in Garner and in Wake Forest. So it's a very warm and muggy start, of course, as we have rain in our forecast. We're about to experience some weather whiplash. Yesterday's high was 87. Wednesday morning, we could be down near freezing. Today, looking at temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s, 72 in Raleigh and Durham, and a little warmer in Fayetteville at 76 degrees. We turn much cooler behind the system, 60 on Tuesday, 61 degrees on Wednesday, and then we're back to 71 on Thursday. We have those cold temperatures in the forecast for Wednesday morning. Could be as cold as 28 in Roxborough, 31 in Sanford, 36 in Clinton. So definitely the potential for some freezing temperatures, and you can see that potentially freeze threat from Durham northward and a frost threat from, say, Raleigh south and east. So today is a WRAL weather alert day with that chance for rain. We're going to talk a little bit more about our flooding potential and show you how much rain we could see by the time it's all over. Coming up.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Job cuts impacting firefighters. How recent mass federal layoffs are putting first responders at risk.
Families forever linked. An organ donation helps 2 families heal. The reminder that they have for everyone during Donate Life Month. Today in entertainment news, a documentary about a music legend, an eco-adventure series, and the Oscars of Science. Here's David Daniel with the Hollywood Minute.
This year's Tribeca Film Festival is kicking off with a hometown hero. The premiere of the documentary Billy Joel and So It Goes is set to launch this year's festival June 4th at New York's Beacon Theater.
I can't believe I'm getting to be part of this project that's helping to reduce the carbon footprint in the entire world. All right, let's dive in.
The Visioneers with Zay Harding showcases scientists, engineers, and everyday people creating environmental solutions. The Eco-Adventure series starring the International Explorer airs weekend mornings on CBS stations and streams on Paramount+. Sia's performance of her hit Unstoppable capped a memorable evening at the 2025 Breakthrough Prizes. The Oscars of Science handed out nearly $19 million in awards, honoring discoveries and achievements in life sciences, fundamental physics, mathematics, and other fields. Hollywood stars, along with tech and business leaders, turned out at a gala ceremony in Los Angeles to salute the stars of science. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
New federal job cuts could affect health benefits for some firefighters. The National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health could lose about 850 of its nearly 1,000 employees. The layoffs will likely affect many programs, including a cancer registry for firefighters during 9/11 who could qualify for the World Trade Center Health Program. The agency is also tasked with researching air quality in buildings and exposure to bloodborne infections.
April is Donate Life Month. Health advocates are getting out the word on the life-saving impact that organ donation can have. 2 years ago, 15-year-old Selena Minsk died after a severe allergic reaction after eating a cookie that was mislabeled as being nut-free. Thanks to a decision that her parents made, that wasn't the end of Selena's story. That donation ended up saving lives, including Haley Poors. In February, the Minsk family finally got the chance to meet Haley and the rest of the Poor family and listen to the heart their daughter gave.
Honestly, like, she's a hero. She saved 5 lives. And I mean, she's a spiritual warrior. And I think she was, she was here for a purpose.
The Minsk family told WRAL they wanted to take this opportunity to highlight not only the importance of being an organ donor, but also to always be vigilant about the danger that food allergies can pose.
If you hear some booming sounds near Fort Bragg this week, no need to be concerned. This is planned. Field artillery units from the 82nd Airborne Division are doing live fire training this month. It can get pretty loud, often able to be heard outside the base. This will be happening through April 16th.
DMV duration starting today. A majority of driver's license offices across the state will expand their hours. The other changes happening at DMV offices ahead of the fast approaching Real ID deadline.
Plus a tragic turn. A Raleigh mother and her 4 kids are dead after a fiery crash on an interstate. What neighbors are saying about that family.
Relentless rain, powerful storms in West Virginia are causing major flooding issues. Ahead, a look at the widespread damage.